One of the decisions I made when I started to make my Ephemera 2024 journal was to start using all the products and mediums and materials that I have been hoarding in my stash. And like some of them I haven't necessarily been hoarding, I mean I have used them, but there are a lot of items that I have purchased over the years that I use for a wee bit, you know, I absolutely love them, use them in every project, but then something new came along and I would change my loyalty. Now that I don't have the money to go and do that, so I need to be very judicious in how and where I spend my money. In fact, you know, Ephemera was the first time in probably 12 months that I'd actually bought anything of note, and that was only, you know, glazes and a couple of embossing powders. But like looking back now and going through my stash and finding things, you know, as I pulled things out, I would have a look at them, and a lot of the mediums that I'd bought had dried up on me or were now so gloopy that I couldn't use them. So I've thrown away quite a few full tubs of stuff that I hadn't even used or I'd barely used because they, you know, expired. So what I'm saying roundabout and long-winded is don't let things sit on your shelves or in your cupboards and or in your drawers for too long. Make sure you're constantly using and pulling things out. So that's what a lot of this journal is going to be about, and indeed a lot of the journals full stop that I make this year and going forward will be about using what I have got already in my stash. I mean, I do want to add to my inks, for instance, some of the new colours that are out in the distress range, but you know, I'm not going to go in and get the inks and the crayons and the watercolour pencils and the mists and or spritzers and everything in the range. I'm going to be picky about what I want, and I'm going to use up the inks that I've got already a lot more, rather than just purely sticking with walnut stain and vintage photo. I want to expand my colour range, because even though I love colour, I still tend to stick with those. So what I've done now is I've pulled out my yellow collage folder. I've pulled out some yellow items that I had left over from my Ephemera swap from Tanya. I've pulled out some yellow paper bags that I just had in my stash. Goodness knows how long they've been there. These are some tickets from Temu. And then I've pulled out a huge range of washi tape to use. I've still got my embossing powders, my distress embossing powders, my distress glazes sitting on my table, and I've pulled out a couple of my snippet scraps that are kind of in that colourway as well, that I thought I might use or try to use, because I've been trying to do that as well. Rather than them just sitting in my stash looking pretty, I want to use them up, because I put a lot of time and effort into them, and this way I will get to enjoy them. So what have we got? So we're on to, still only on to page 2. So we've got January, our head title, we've got our monthly calendar, and now this is going to be the next page. And I thought what I want to do on here is add like a little wee pocket, because I want to add some notes to remind myself of what I've done, because this is the first quarterly planner that I've made. And so because I want them to be consistent at least for the year, I just, rather than having to reinvent the wheel each quarter, I just thought I'd make a few notes, which I probably should have started when I did the, started on the cover, but hey, I will have to go back and think about things a little bit, but at least from now on I can throw my little wee notes in there and into this pocket. So I was wondering whether I use like one of these envelopes chopped down, and I mean I quite like, they're all I love the colours of all of them, and like I'm not really a yellow person, but I think they look good. I mean this one's perhaps a little bit too shiny for me, but that's okay. And I thought, seeing as I've got 3 yellow paper bags, I might put 1 per month. So whatever I do for one is going to be fairly similar for the rest. Now these are all, sorry, I'll put that page aside for now. So these are all gusseted. Now I think I might use this lighter one for January, and then go maybe February and then March. But we'll see how we go. So for now they can just like slide under there and not be a distraction. So what I want to do is, because it is gusseted, I want to, trim it down somehow. Maybe cut off the bottom and just fold it up so that I haven't got the full gusset opening up, but it's closed together on the bottom. I also don't need the whole height. Right, you're back again. I probably only need, like at most half a page. And like there is a little wee tear there, so obviously I need to, and although that's the back, so maybe I can stick that down and it won't be an issue. Oh no, there's a tear there too. So I think I need to reinforce this top somehow. So the first thing I might do is reach back for this. Now I think I'll chop off the top. So let's just, we can squeeze that under there. Yep, sure. And now I'm probably being a little bit generous. I'm going to cut off round about 1 centimetre, just because that should get rid of all the tears. Yep, looks like we're good there. No more tears. Yep, that's good. Now, how high do we want this? I need a pencil. Pencil. I was good. I put it away. Pencil, we're probably wanting, if I do it about there. By the time I fold up, so we're going to there. By the time I fold up for the bottom, I mean it's going to be a wee bit shorter, which is what we want. And there. Right, now I will put that somewhere because, I mean, that will make a good short little wee pocket. It will not be, you know, completely a waste. So now, how are we going to, so I pretty much need to, if I get some scissors, no, maybe these ones. So what I want to do is, if I bring this out here and bring this out here and ruler, so we just, I'm not going to measure, well maybe I should if I want it to be even. So if we go there, we want 1/2 inch up. So how much, how did I cut it? Just under 5 inches, it's not bad. About 12 and a half centimeters, spot on. Okay, so let's make it then 11 centimeters. That'll give me a plenty good fold up. And we want 11 from the top. So that is there. Now I am, I mean, you could, if you don't want to measure it, you could just do what you want and freestyle it. But because I have no idea what I'm doing, like I haven't planned this out, I am kind of, this is my planning stage. And now I'm doing this on extending these lines onto the front because what we are going to do, so no, we've done the wrong one. Okay, see there's the seam. I want to cut that one. See, this is why. This is why I'm ruling and double checking, because we're not 100% sure what we're doing. Now, because of my little boo-boo, whoops, kicked the bag underneath my desk. So, that is our front. Yes. We need to make sure we erase that line. Right. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, so we're going to cut from there around so that when they fold in, we're going to have our front flap from there is going to go up and hold that gusset together. So I'm just going to cut the whole gusset out. So we want just the slightest of this is not as easy as I thought it might be. So what we want to do is let's go to there. So I've cut that already, and I am going to score where my folder is going to be. Right, now cutting might be a little bit easier, but maybe not. And this doesn't need to be exact. It's a wee bit awkward getting started, but once you get started, it's a doddle. Just make sure you don't cut off that bit when you are trimming. So now we've got our single flap. Can you see what I've done there? So if we hold that together, so there's that one gusset, there's the other gusset. We're going to fold that over and close it all up. Just like that. Now, before we glue, do we need to ink? I think we want to ink the back, but it might be easier to ink the front before it's glued. So the next question is, what colour are we inking? Wild honey. But let's just check on here. Oh yeah, that's what we want. This is why we keep our scraps around. So now I'm just inking this front square that will be visible. And I'm using the Wild Honey Distress Oxide. Why? Because I like it. And as usual, I'm being extra with my inking because, again, I like it. You do what you like. As they say, you do you, boo. And if you don't like yellow ink on yellow paper, or maybe you just don't even have yellow ink, so you don't know whether you like it. Actually, put that over the top just in case there is. Yeah. Do whatever you want. Maybe you want to put a contrast colour. Maybe you want to put red on there because you want to be dangerous. Or maybe you would prefer to downplay the yellow. So, or you got yellow paper bags. You're using craft ones, so maybe you want to use walnut stain. I am not going to tell you what to do. You do whatever the heck you want. Yes. just like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so we've got that there. We might as well stick it down now. Oops, where did that blob of glue come from? And I am just going to very faintly, because my glue must be getting thin, and maybe I need to refill my bottle. And there. Now I just got these yellow bags, paper bags. I think it was from like a party place, and that's why I was able to get, it was either that or like a $2 Emporium shop, just because they were cheap and they were there. And at the time I was thinking, yes, cool, paper bags, that's what I want. I didn't have any plan in mind. Right, so now I need to do something for that top edge. Even though I've inked it now, I might put a washi tape on it. The question is, which washi tape? So I don't want anything really big, even though that would look quite nice. So, and I don't like that colour. I want the black. Seashells, that might be quite nice, because, you know, summer, beach. We've got crabs, not quite sure how appropriate that is. Are they shaped? Is it shaped? Sorry, just, obviously I have not opened this one because I don't know. Oh, yep, there's a wee circle there of tape, and yes, these are shaped crabs. But I'm not sure that I like. I mean, I like the width of it, but do I want the seashells? Now, the only problem with these washi tapes is, because I have had them for so long, I don't know how sticky they're going to be. Now, do I want to wrap this over the top? Maybe I do. So, how are we going to do the gussets? Maybe I should have done this before I glued the bottom together. We're finding this out now. Nah, maybe I'll use that down the bottom or something. So we'll leave that one out. That was like a lace. Don't really want silver. What about, oh, it's silver, but maybe that will do. See the lace or that one? Because they're yellow and silver. Who puts yellow and silver together? Should be yellow and gold. But that one, I think, is a nice tone. But yes, I'm afraid I don't think this is very sticky. So what I'm going to do is, I want to put some in there. So we need about twice that, so about there. are we going to do this? We want that to stay down there. Just because I have used this brand of washi tape when I first bought them, and I had trouble with the washi tape sticking, which is why I'm gluing them down. Now I want just the merest hint on here. Then talk about awkward, Paula. But we got there. So it doesn't matter how much is on the back. Because it's going to be stuck down. But it's just that I don't want too much layered there. So that doesn't look too bad. So it was 1, 2 there, and then 2 there, that one. And do the same thing again. Stick. And maybe it was because I put paint on top of the washi that it didn't want to work, because I was using it in an art journal at the time. I'm not sure. Maybe. You know. Now we're going on this side. Hard to manage it when you're not cooperating. And all I'm doing is trying to line this up with the top edge of the paper, going right into that crease, and then folding it down. And yeah, as long as it's near enough, it's okay by me. Right, so now our last piece is going to be to that top flower there. Oh no, maybe we'll just take it a little bit extra, because you know, I'd prefer that it not come unwrapped around the corner. Right. Hopefully that should be enough. Right. Now we've got glue all over my scissors and my table. And I'm going to grab you from one end and the other end, so that I know. Yep, so that's there. And that's there. Whoops, sticky finger on it. That's over the top. That's over that top. So now, just clean off this sticky bit there. Don't know what that is, but I don't want anything sticking down to it. But that looks quite cute. Very sort of summery. Yep, I like that. Yep, stuck well there, stuck well there. Awesome. And then do we want to put this on the bottom? Let's just test what it's going to look like. I can't say, I must not have used this because this end bit is very sticky. And they put extra stick on there, but not the rest. And I don't think I need it. I think it would detract from the look. So, what I need to do now is adhere this onto our page, making sure the page is the right way up. And I want it on this outside corner so that it's not going to impact on the binding. I had to think about that a tad bit too much. So now I am just going to stick this in. Now I could create an extra pocket by just gluing it on 3 sides, but given that it has the potential to be quite full itself, I'm not going to. I'm going to stick the whole thing down completely. Right, there we go. And we want it about 1/4 of an inch in and up. And then press that down. Cool. Now, the only thing I've got to bear in mind is that potentially it could stick out quite a bit. So, do I want to? No. I was just wondering whether I wanted to clip at least the front half of the gusset together. And no, if I want to do anything, I can just clip it from one side. So,